good morning, everybody. This is our second college panel from March. So today we have a big crowd, so we're going to make sure that we get enough time to answer questions and learn more about each college. So starting from the left, all the way down to the right. Right here we have Drew Hashimura from University of Tennessee. We have from Drexel University, Catherine Campbell-Perna. Next to her is from University of Valley Forge, which is Catherine Garcia. Right after that is Jacob Rosario from Catholic University. From Widener University, we have Dylan Butero. And then after Widener, we have from Fairfield University, Michael Bowler, and finally at the end from Sacred Heart University, Trevor O'Brien. Okay, so we ask each rep to give about 2 minutes to introduce themselves and to give you some facts or information that you would need, and then we'll jump into questions. So if you do have questions this time, please, I would love to hear them, but if not, I got backups. All right, so Drew, if you want to start?
Oh, sure. Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Thank you so much for having us today. My name is Drew Hashimura. I'm with the University of Tennessee. For those of you, I know that I've talked to a lot of you in the past, so and I know that you're probably familiar with the University of Tennessee, but for those of you that aren't, we are the flagship university for the state of Tennessee. We're located in Knoxville, Tennessee. You're coming to school in a tourist destination. So for those of you that are looking for that quintessential large Southern SEC football type school, that's where we are. We are currently ranked 51st best public university in the country. We have a lot of our programs, we have 13 schools that make up the University of Tennessee, and many of them are even ranked higher than our actual national ranking as well. We have more than 500 clubs and organizations at the university. 32% of our student body go Greek, so that's something that you can look forward to. I know that I participated in Greek life, and I still have these lifelong relationships with my friends, right? I'm gonna kind of stop right there because I want everybody else to be able to have an opportunity because there's a lot of us to talk. So ask all the questions you want.
Hello everyone, my name is Catherine Campbell-Perna. I'm Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Drexel University. We are a private R1 research university in the University City section of Philadelphia, so not too far away from here. We have over 15 colleges and schools and about 13,000 full-time undergraduate students. The nice thing is though, you keep our classes quite small. Our median class size is only about 19 students. One of the many reasons for that is if you know what you want to major in, you can apply directly into that major and be accepted into that major as a freshman and start taking classes in that major right away in your first year. The other thing that keeps our class sizes small is our cooperative education program. If you've never heard of Drexel's co-op program, it's over 100 years old and it's available for all of our majors. Kind of like an internship, but when most people think of an internship, it's maybe a month or two in the summer or part-time while they're in school. With Drexel, it's actually part of our curriculum. So we offer a 4-year program with 1 6-month co-op, also a 5-year program with 3 6-month co-ops. We have over 120 different majors, and all majors do offer some kind of co-op. And we'll talk more about some other details about the school later on.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Garcia. I am an admissions counselor here at the University Valley Forge. We are a Christian liberal arts university located in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, so that is a 53-minute drive from here if you have an easy pass. If you don't, it is 1 hour and 14 minutes. And we offer over 40 plus majors here at the University Valley Forge. I will not list all of them to you because I will probably forget some and you probably won't remember all of them, but I do have them listed in a pamphlet in the back if you want to grab more information. And though we are a Christian university, we offer, like majors for those who might be called to like ministry or worship or missions or things like that. But for people who are called more into like a secular job, like social work, education, criminal justice, different things like that, we also offer that here at the university. We are also ranked for, Niche does I guess what I'll call superlatives for different colleges, and for us, things that we were able to proudly earn was that we were one of the best Christian colleges in our region, and also really good with social mobility, which basically that means is if you come from a family where maybe you're not rolling in money, we are very big on offering scholarships to families like that because we want to be able to make college financially sustainable. So if you have questions about scholarships or anything like that, would be happy to talk about it here or talk about it later. Or if you don't have time, my business card is also in the back, but look forward to getting to know all of you guys.
Hi folks, good to meet you. My name is Jake Rosario. I'm a Senior Admissions Counselor with the Catholic University of America. We're a small liberal arts university in Washington, D.C. It's like a 3.5-hour drive from here. Over 70 undergraduate degree programs, over 60 minors and certificate programs, 4 pre-professional programs, pre-law, pre-med, pre-dental, pre-veterinary. Yeah, small liberal arts school, around 3,000 undergraduate students. That translates into smaller class sizes. Average class size of 19, 10 to 1 student to faculty ratio. This is really key because these are, you're really getting in touch with the professors at the university. These guys are going to be your mentors, people getting you into their research labs, folks getting you interviews with the different DC agencies and firms they belong to. Yeah, our students have achieved over 3,000 different kinds of internships. So yeah, a ton of opportunities for you to jumpstart your career while you're in college.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dylan Butera. I'm from Widener University. I'm one of the assistant directors in our office. We are a smaller university located a little outside of Philadelphia. We're in Chester, Pennsylvania. We have about 3,000 undergraduate students, so we're Catholic. Some of our more popular majors on campus are nursing, engineering, and business. We've become a pretty prominent nursing school in the last few years, and especially last year, we've seen a lot of nursing students attend Widener, which has been really exciting. But we also have all sorts of different majors, from political science to history, communications, and so on. So we have about 40 majors, 50 minors. Student engagement is really high on campus. We're a Division III school where our men's and women's basketball team actually just competed for the D3 version of our March Madness tournament. We were a host site, so that was pretty exciting to have some school spirit on campus there. But yeah, we're about an hour south of here, and thanks again for having us, and looking forward to answering some of y'all's questions.
Morning, everyone. My name is Mike Bowler. I'm an assistant director of admission up at Fairfield University. Probably about 3 hours from here, depending on traffic. I always preface it with that. Fairfield is a Jesuit institution, one of the 27 Jesuit colleges and universities in the country. Happy to answer any more questions about what that means to the Fairfield experience if you'd like to know more. In terms of academics, we are a liberal arts college, but we have 52 majors across 4 different schools. College of Arts and Sciences, Dolan School of Business, which is our largest area of study, Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies, and the School of Engineering and Computing. In terms of the student experience at Fairfield, talk a bit about our location, about a 220-acre campus. The town of Fairfield is only about a mile away. We're a mile and a half off of the Long Island Sound. Senior year, our students have the opportunity to move on campus and down to Fairfield Beach. And then we're only about an hour and 15-minute train ride from New York City, and only about 15 to 20 minutes away from both New Haven, Connecticut, and Stamford, Connecticut. Really beneficial to our students, whether it's for internship opportunities, social opportunities, off campus, everything like that. But again, thank you for letting us be here today, and I look forward to answering your questions.
So good morning, ladies. I hope you've all had a great week so far. My name is Trevor O'Brien. I am one of the senior directors here in our admissions office, and I oversee the recruitment in the state of Pennsylvania. So I would be all of your admissions counselors. So if you didn't grab my card when you checked in, definitely make sure you do that before you head out today. So Sacred Heart is also in Fairfield, Connecticut. We're right down the road from Fairfield U. And we're a nice medium-sized school. We have about 6,500 undergraduate students. So I like to say it's not too small. We're going to see the same people every day, right, in a dining hall or walking throughout the campus, but it's also not too large where you're ever going to feel overwhelmed or lost. You know, our average class size is about 23 students, so you're really able to engage with your professors. There's no large lecture spaces at Sacred Heart, so you won't be in a room with 100, 200, 300 other students, which I think is a real benefit. We've got a lot of different majors here at the university, whether you're looking to go into law, business, nursing, something in the health professions, education. So really, we We have tracks for everybody as well as an undecided option. So if you don't know what you want to study, that's perfectly fine. And we have a ton of extracurricular opportunities as well, whether you're looking to go into fraternity or sorority life, volunteer programs. That's something really important to us here at Sacred Heart. We're also a Division I institution for our sport programs, so we've got a variety of club sports and intramurals. We also have a tremendous performing arts program too. We've got over 1,000 students involved in that too. So if anything that you want to involve yourself with, Sacred Heart certainly has a lot of opportunities. But I do want to open it up now to the group and see if there are any questions that anybody has, and we'll certainly get started.
Don't raise your hands at once now. But does anybody have any questions that they feel they want to be asked right now? Anything that you thought of maybe from our last panel that maybe you thought of now? No one? Yes.
For the University of Tennessee, since you are CSC school, in terms of scholarship, especially for out-of-state students, what do you provide more? Because you've been hearing from smaller schools, so I just wanted to know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, right? The first thing I want to start off with is talking about tuition room and board, right? We're very affordable. We're in the South, so things in the South are just a little bit more affordable. We're at 44,000 and change all in right now, right? So the higher the GPA, the higher the test scores, the more money that we'll offer for merit scholarships. Merit scholarships are the only thing that we do offer, and they can start off at 5,000, and then we cap out at 18,000. So, and we're very, very direct as far as where we're at, right? You have this GPA and this test score, this is how much money we'll give you. Now, I have worked for schools in the past where you could ask for more money, right? We're not one of those schools, right? Like you have this, this is what we'll give you, right? But they are stackable, right? So there are so much money in our communities that go unclaimed every year, and you can stack those. If it's payable to the University of Tennessee or payable to you, like, we'll take it, right? So just keep that in mind, and I'm sure that your counseling office has all the resources to point you in different directions for external scholarships as well. And then you could also reach out to us. We have a couple of recommendations as well that we can do that. Later on in your academic career with the University of Tennessee, you may be able to be awarded scholarships from the department, right? Like you could be awarded different ones. There's not a whole lot of those, but there are some options that are available there as well. Did I answer your question? Yeah, and if you think of something else about that, we can talk afterwards as well.
Does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, go for it.
It's not for all the colleges, but something with like the SAT, test optional, and then also like if it's optional, what's the average?
Sure. So we are test required. So the state of Tennessee requires all of their high school students to take a standardized test, whether it's SAT or ACT, in their junior year. If you do not take it, you cannot graduate from high school. You will not receive your diploma. So as the state institution for Tennessee, we require test scores. It can fluctuate, right, as far as, because we don't have a set standard. It's more of a range, right? Our start of our mid 50% this year for out-of-state students was a 1310, okay? Does that mean that's what it's going to be next year? I don't know yet, right? And that's why it's important to reach out to me, reach out to your counselors. They know me very well. They can even text me, right? And we can have that conversation. I'm more than happy to have that conversation before you apply or while you're applying.
At Drexel, we are staying test optional through 2026, so juniors and sophomores, we're still test optional. If you do want to send test scores, our average last year was about a 1280. We do super score the SAT, we also super score the ACT. Keep in mind though, Drexel has a holistic review process, so if one student, say, applies for global studies and another student applies for music industry, we're looking for different things. Say if they want to biomedical engineering, computer science, the STEM majors tend to have higher average scores overall. But so if you want to send them, great. If you don't want to send them, we're not being held against you. We'll definitely look at your transcript a little more closely if you're not sending test scores, but it's completely up to you if you want to send them. The only program requires test scores. We do offer an 8-year BSMD medical program, and I have more details on that if anyone has any specifics about that, because I handle that for the whole country. So I'm the admissions counselor for Bucks County and all the students here, but that program I deal with nationally. So.
Yeah, so at the University of Valley Forge, we are test optional, and we plan to stay that way. So that's something you don't need to worry about for ACTs, SATs. I will add though, for those who have taken it or plan to take it, they are good for scholarships. So I don't have to get into that now since that wasn't the question. But if it's something where you'd be interested in that, obviously I would encourage you to take the SATs. But aside from that, you do not need them to get reviewed and get accepted to the University of Valley Forge.
Yeah, so the Catholic University of America is completely test-free. We don't look at your ACT or SAT at all when reviewing for admission, nor do we use it for awarding merit scholarships. When we're looking at the academic bit of your application, right, we're looking at your strength of curriculum, so how challenging your coursework was in high school, relevant coursework to the major you're picking, kind of like Drexel over here. Yeah, test review, we don't use it in our review process at all.
Yeah, we're test optional at Widener. We saw it last year in the admissions cycle. It was 85% of applicants did not submit test scores. So it was a pretty overwhelming amount of students were not doing so, which I think is helpful for some. Like, I was a pretty good student. I was a terrible test taker when I was going to college, so I felt that I had to submit SAT scores, and I was like, this isn't for me, but I had to do it. But if you want to submit test scores, we're very open in our office, and I always encourage a conversation ahead of time. Our average from students that we saw that submitted them was around an 1180. So I always say, like, hey, you can let me know. I'm the territory manager and admissions counselor at your school. You can always reach out and be like, hey, Dylan, this is what I got. You think it would help out? We'd be happy to have that conversation. It can help in some instances if maybe your GPA is a bit lower. You have stronger test scores that can help with maybe being admitted and also getting a little bit more scholarship money. But once again, we saw a lot of students not submitting test scores, and we're planning on setting test optional for the foreseeable future.
So Fairfield's been test optional for the last 10 to 12 years. We're not one of the colleges that switched to test optional because of COVID. To give you an idea, last year, about 75% of applications that we received were test optional. We're still finalizing applications this year, but if I had to guess, it would be that same number, maybe jump up to about 80%. To give you an idea, middle 50% for students who did submit scores. It was between a 1260 and a 1370. Really, Fairfield's philosophy on standardized test scores is that we use them to reinforce what we're seeing on your transcript. I always encourage students to work with their counselors. There may be some colleges that you choose to submit scores to. There may be others that you don't. So really have those individualized conversations to make the best decisions for you.
Yeah, so similar with Sacred Heart, we have also been test optional for the last 15 years. And like Widener and Fairfield, the majority of our applicants did not submit test scores. We were about 75% as well that didn't submit. The way in which I always approach that question with students that ask me is that if you feel like the test score is a good representation of who you are as a student, then submit it. But if you feel like, again, you're not the best test taker, if you just had a bad 3 hours Saturday morning taking an SAT or an ACT, that should not deter your admission to our institution. So we don't require it. It has no bearing on any merit scholarship as well. It's solely just GPA-based for Sacred Heart. So as you're sort of going through the process, again, you can certainly take the tests. It can help with admission to Sacred Heart, but it's not required for us at all.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? It was so odd. We're all hitting the questions like as I was going like chronologically. Like, okay, that was one, number two. All right, so I actually have a question that really I would say influenced a lot of our seniors now, and that's about demonstrated interest. You know, reaching out, answering emails, doing visits, and so forth. So I think we're going to go from like Trevor down, so we go up and down and down. So I would ask, what do you consider demonstrated interest regarding potential applicants? Like, what really stands out to
so that's actually something that's extremely important to us here at Sacred Heart. Demonstrated interest is one of the most important things that we look for, outside of, again, making sure that you're academically admissible to our institution. So we do really look at your interest in the school because we want to admit students that have shown that interest with us. The best way to do that is to come to campus for a visit, whether it's a campus tour, or for an open house, or for another event that we might be hosting. It can happen again during the summer, it can happen during the school year, but we really like to see that. Interviews are a great way to showcase that as well. Again, whether that be virtually with our office or even when we're on the road in the fall time, we do regional interviews where we'll go to Panera Breads or Starbucks in the area and we'll open up interview slots for you actually to meet with us in person. Coming again for panels such as this, going to high school visits, going to college fairs and filling out inquiry cards, reaching out with us, whether it's email, sending us a text, giving us a call. We track all of those things and we go through your applications. It is something that we really do look for. And so that's something at least to keep in mind with Sacred Heart, is that demonstrated interest is a major factor and something that we really do like to see in our applicants.
Similarly, demonstrated interest at Fairfield definitely plays a role outside of academics. It's probably the second largest thing that we look at. Really encourage you all, if you haven't already, to start visiting schools, not only because of demonstrated interest, but because of through visiting schools, you'll get a naturally better sense of where you can see yourself for 4 years. You'll naturally filter down your list. In terms of opportunities at Fairfield, we offer campus tours 7 days a week during the academic year, Monday through Friday, during the summer. During the academic year, so both fall and spring semester, each of our 4 schools host 3 or 4 school-specific programs on Monday and Friday mornings. Those are a great way to learn more about the university and also show demonstrated interest. Interviews are an optional, but I always say strongly encouraged component of the application process. We offer virtual interviews really from the middle of the summer through the winter. Our interview registration opens up about June 1st every year, so if you get on our mailing list, you'll start receiving regular communications from us. Don't wait until November, December to sign up for one. Our interviews are conducted by our senior fellows, so there is a maximum number of slots that are available. I hate to turn away students, but every year we do have to turn away students, especially since we have been offering those for the last 5 or 6 years. Oh, and one other piece of advice, sorry. When I'm on the road at fairs or at visits, sometimes students will say, well, I'm going to see what colleges I get into and then start visiting schools. Well, like Sacred Heart, like Fairfield, like probably many other institutions that track demonstrated interest, if that's part of your admission decision, after the decision is too late. So I understand sort of constraints with time and location and everything like that. But it's important to know how demonstrated interest is handled at each of your schools and sort of prioritize visiting in that sense.
Yeah, very similar to the 2 answers you just heard at Widener. We looked at like a holistic review process with our admissions process and application process, and that's everything, your essay and transcript, test scores you submit them, things you're involved with, any other supplemental materials, and demonstrated interest. It's definitely something that I look at pretty heavily when I'm reviewing applications, and it's also just like beneficial to you, right? Like we can all sit up here and tell you all the facts and statistics about our schools and why they're all so great, but ultimately it's going to really make an impact and a difference when you all go and see that place for yourself physically, or talk to one of your admissions counselors, or do a interview. We offer interviews as well. It's kind of an unofficial process, and it's not required, but it can be helpful for just getting to know your admissions counselor and also getting to know a little bit more about the university itself. But yeah, super important, and you're all going into your senior year, so summer and then into the fall of your senior year is a really great time to start getting out on some campuses and checking them out and seeing what ultimately is appealing to you and what you can see yourself attending for your post-high school career.
Yeah, highly recommend a visit to CapQ. Wonderful city, wonderful campus, largest and greatest campus in Washington, D.C. You can also do an interview if you're ever on campus, if we're ever in your area, or you can do that virtually with us. That's it. We don't track demonstrated interest. It's not the heaviest weighted thing on our application review process. If we do see it, that's cool. It's really nice to put a face to your application, but it's not something we necessarily track. That said, super helpful to visit a school, super helpful to talk to your admissions counselor at that school, so highly recommend it still.
Yeah, so at the University of Valley Forge, we love getting connected with high schoolers of any age, whether you discover UVF freshman year or senior year, whatever it is. Kind of like similar where we do track visits and things like that, and we meet you guys at fairs or events or conventions or anything like that. We do like meeting students that way too. I will add that, let's say you discover, or you've heard about the University of Valley Forge, but you don't really get sold on us till senior year. We're not gonna penalize you for discovering us later. We understand that choosing a college is a very big investment. So I know for some of you guys, you're already sold on the place you're gonna go to, and some of you guys are gonna be looking at a bunch of different places. So if you guys, maybe you're unsure about UVF now, but become sold on it later, that's completely fine. I will add though that if you are a junior showing interest, again, we love just getting connected with you guys. We're very community focused here at the University of Valley Forge, but also just on a practical sense. I know as you're going through the college decision, those who are really proactive, you're probably already thinking about scholarships, you're probably already thinking about community, you're probably already thinking about stuff like that. And like our role, at least here at the University of Valley Forge, is we want to partner alongside you to answer the questions that you have. We don't expect you guys to know everything because you guys haven't been to college yet, which is why that's where I come in, where I'm here to answer any question you have under the sun as early as it is. I've had serious questions about scholarships, and the silliest question I've gotten is how many fish can I ethically have in my dorm? So I've literally heard everything under the sun. So if you think a question is too silly to talk to a college admissions counselor about, it's not, because I'm your partner in this. So, and for juniors, we also can counsel you in regards to what you can be doing now to get scholarships and what you can be doing now to get to know the community. We would love to be able to put a face to the name as early as possible. There are some students that I've known since they were freshmen and now they're in the college now or different, or some students who have known we were the ones since they were 10 and because of parents or whatever it may be, and we've got to meet them early on. So it's never bad to get involved quickly. It's nice to get to know the community you might be a part of. So do we track it? Not necessarily, but are there benefits to showing interest now so that way we can help you as best as possible? Absolutely. So I guess that's just the perspective of the University of Valley Forge.
Okay, at Drexel University, it's not officially part of the admissions review process, whether you visited or anything like that, but we're only about an hour away from you guys. I strongly encourage people to come down and visit. I was just on the phone for about, I counted 27 minutes with a parent of an accepted student from New York City yesterday who had never been to visit, and she was asking a lot of really basic questions that she could have had answered a year ago if they had come to visit. So I strongly encourage you, what any of the schools you're visiting. Drexel's a little bit different. Our co-op program is somewhat unique. We're on the quarter system. Our prerequisites and things we're looking for different majors can vary from major to major. We have over 120 majors. So I strongly encourage you to come to visit Drexel, or if you can't, even we can set something up on Zoom. We don't have an interview process, but you're welcome to talk to me or anybody in our office or the departments if you have specific questions about majors. So just kind of
we do not track demonstration. Well, let me be fair. Yes, we track demonstrated interest for what we can track demonstrated interest for. Because we have millions of visitors to our campus every year because they come for football, basketball, baseball, all of our sports, right? We don't track that, right? And so we only can track what you do with admissions. So it has zero impact on your admissions decision. However, I live right down the road in North Wales, right? I'm a regional. I did go to Tennessee. I love to put a face with the name. It's my job to advocate for you, right? We had over 60,000 applications this year, and 11,000 for my territory. It's like, I cannot advocate for you if I don't know who you are, right? And so, so that's my role, right? And your counselor will tell you, I take the time. I literally will take the time to meet with every single one of you and give you the respect that you deserve going through this process, because I will advocate the best that I possibly can. And I think that shows, because our out-of-state admit rate was 23% this year, and your school is much higher than that. So I think that really does go a long way. But tracking demonstrated interest is, we track what we can.
Anybody have Any other questions? Yes?
What's the tuition rate?
Tuition? Okay, so I guess, sorry, I know you already mentioned it a bit, but again, across, and I think I'm gonna piggyback, with your question about that. So, the question was, how much is tuition at your schools? But I also want to, mention as well about merit awards, financial award packages. I know, Drew, you talked about it in Tennessee, but I would love to hear, just all that categories, with each of the schools.
Just to reiterate real quick, it was just over 31,000 is our tuition, 44,000 and change with room and board as well, right? Total. We have merit scholarships anywhere from 5,000 to 18,000 for out-of-state students.
Okay, with Drexel, it's important to understand we're on quarterly billings, but it's a little bit unique. So you're only paying the quarters you're in classes. When you're on co-op, you do not pay tuition during that time, and you're in school for 12 academic quarters total. Our tuition for the freshman year is about $58,000. With room and board, it's about $78,000, but we do give lots of scholarships and financial aid. We strongly encourage all families to file something called the CSS profile. It's a more detailed financial aid form through the College Board. We do give merit scholarships, though unfortunately I don't have an exact breakdown of what those are, and they really do vary from year to year. But our average financial aid package is about $34,000 per year.
Yeah, so for us, speaking strictly just tuition, it's about $23,000. Full student experience, so if you want to live on campus, food, all of that, is around $36,000 per total. And then here at the University of Valley Forge, we do offer merit scholarships. And I'd like to add too, that's separate from the scholarships that SATs, if you do take them, would also open up for, so those are just different things that we offer here at the university.
Yeah, so Catholic University of America has a couple merit scholarships you should be aware of. Our base merit scholarship ranges about $17,000 to $33,000 a year. That's mostly given depending on your GPA and your strength of curriculum. We also offer a parish scholarship, $4,000 a year to anybody who belongs to the Catholic parish. A legacy grant if you have a grandparent, parent, or sibling who's graduated from Catholic. Sticker price at the university is around mid $70,000 a year. I have met nobody who's paid all that money. On average, the cost of room and board and tuition with financial aid and scholarships tends to be around $34,000 a year. Students, 95% of our students receive some form of financial aid and scholarships, and the university awards $70 million in grants and scholarships a year. So, a ton of money on the table for you guys, and just make sure you're doing the work to, make sure there's no money left on the table.
At Widener, with housing, meal plan, and tuition, it comes to be a little over $70,000 a year. Similar to all the other schools that have spoken, no one pays that amount. Every student is automatically considered for some merit scholarship award when you do apply. And last year, every student received some form of merit scholarship. Our scholarships range between $25,000 and $35,000 a year. And we're a big FAFSA school. At Widener, not only do you have an admissions counselor and myself, but you're all also assigned a financial aid counselor. So we work very closely with you in the financial aid process. It's arguably just as important as the actual college application itself. So I would say on average, students are usually paying anywhere between $25,000 and $30,000. But last year, we saw that we actually gave a little bit more funding to students through scholarship, through the FAFSA, and it led to our largest class in school's history, which I found to be really impactful, honestly. And students wanted to come to Widener. There was a lot of interest there, but it was a little unaffordable, so we adjusted, and we made some pretty big changes to our financial aid packages, and that led to some pretty big enrollment numbers for our first year incoming class this past year. And I don't see that changing in the near future. So we're pretty proud to be able to do that and give students that opportunity and make sure that they are feeling more financially comfortable for going to college. But also too, we have different scholarships that we change from year to year. For example, this year, if you're an engineering student, on top of your merit scholarship, you get if you're a admitted engineering student, you get a $5,000 engineering scholarship as well. So you get, our highest scholarship of $35,000. You're an engineering student, that's $40,000 right there before the FAFSA even kicks in. So we're really trying to bridge that financial gap and make sure that students are comfortable paying for their Widener education if you ultimately attend.
So Fairfield's tuition, room and board, just over $73,000 per year. Happy to say that only about 8% of our students pay that full amount. That's because of Applicants are automatically considered for our merit scholarships. They range from $10,000 to $28,000 per year. Those are 4-year awards. In terms of financial aid, we require both the CSS profile and the FAFSA. I know FAFSA-only schools have been a big headache. We're able to, at least initially, build a student's financial aid package based off of the CSS profile. And then, I don't work in financial aid, but when financial aid does receive FAFSA application, they're able to tinker with it. Going back to merit scholarships, again, automatically considered, and about 50% of our students do receive merit scholarships.
So with Sacred Heart, with tuition, we're about $50,000 now when you include room and board, because none of you will be qualifying as a community student here in PA. It gets to just under $70,000. In terms of merit scholarship, every student is awarded a merit. Again, that's just based off of the cumulative GPA, and that's just a GPA range. So stronger students academically can receive a stronger merit scholarship from Sacred Heart. In terms of other grants, we have them sort of based off of interest. So we've got a performing arts scholarship for seniors that want to audition for dance, choral, band, theater. You can receive a scholarship to be a part of performing arts. We've also got a community service grant that students can apply for as admitted seniors to do service here at Sacred Heart. You're all at a Catholic school right now, so you'll automatically receive our Catholic school scholarship. That's not something you have to apply for. You just automatically get awarded it if you're admitted to SHU. So there's a couple of other things that can sort of help with that. Also outside scholarships, we can also take any of that as mentioned from University of Tennessee, and a lot of our schools too do that as well. So if you receive outside scholarships from organizations or from your high school, a lot of schools can add that into your packages that you've already been awarded, right? And then something else that's a little bit different, but I know a lot of schools do offer this too, is that once you're a student in college, you can also receive additional scholarships while you're with us, right? So it's not like you're just receiving a merit scholarship and that's it. A lot of schools do offer things if you want to be a resident success assistant, or if you're a very strong student, you can apply for certain upper level scholarships for upperclassmen. So there's also a lot of ways to help kind of reduce the cost, bless you, when you're a student with us. Bless you.
Okay. I know the bell just rang, and I know some eyes were just like, whoa, that's a big amount of money, but I think overall everybody has a package that could help you in any way. So I want to give a round of applause for everybody.